Hey everybody, welcome to Beyond the Words. Today we're going to be talking about
communication for a successful marriage.
And a family how. Coming right up. Hey guys, welcome to Beyond the Words. You ready for your family how?
You ready, Rufus?
Are you ready, Rufus?
Are you going to do it?
Woo! Ow! Woo! Woo!
Ow!
Woo! Ow! Woo! 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 Good boy. That was our family how, if you didn't catch on. Anyway, we like to do that every once in a while. Welcome to Beyond the Words. I'm Lon.
And I'm Lisa.
And this is Rufus. And we are so happy that you're here with us this evening. And so happy that you're here. Tonight we're going to be talking about... Yeah, thank you. Tonight we're going to be talking about communication for successful marriages, and that's a pretty important topic to discuss. But before we get into that discussion, we just want to invite you to connect with us. We'd love to hear from you. You can do that, if I can find the button, you can email us and connect with us at lonandlisa@gobeyondthewords.com. That's lonandlisa@gobeyondthewords.com. Send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear some topics that you might like to discuss. Mm-hmm. Maybe we talk about something and you've got something extra that you want to share. Mm-hmm. It might get on the show. So definitely send us an email. We'd love to hear from you.
And if you want an 8x10 glossy of Rufus, we can send you one of those. No, not really.
Yeah, well, we could.
Well, I guess we could.
We could if you really wanted an 8x10 glossy of Rufus.
Yeah, we can probably put some ink on his hand and have him sign it for you.
Do a little paw print.
Yeah,
yeah, that would be good. That would be good. Absolutely. Also, as we go through the show, definitely put your comments down in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you there as well. And of course, we'll be posting things, comments as they come up. As we go through the show. Mm-hmm. And I see that Lucas is watching. Yeah. How you doing, Lucas? Good to have you on the show again. So what do we do first?
Are we going to do our adventures?
Oh, yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, Lisa and I went on a date.
Yes, you asked me on a date.
I asked you on a date. Yes. But I didn't tell you where we were going.
Yes. And then he said, wear closed-toed shoes, which terrified me.
Yes. So yeah, the night before, and when I asked you if you wanted to go out, and you said yes, I said, okay, so make sure you wear closed-toe shoes. And that's all I told her. I didn't tell her anything else. Mm-hmm. Just closed-toe shoes.
Yes.
And some of your coworkers.
Yes.
And you had
friends.
And friends.
My daughter. Yes.
Had some discussion.
Right.
Over what was going to happen.
Right.
And
they all decided that you were going to attempt to murder me.
Which I have no idea why they would jump to that conclusion.
I think because I'm so irritating.
Well, they might have seen the black tarp in the back of the car as well. I don't know.
Yes.
Anyway.
And so, yes. But apparently you were going to try to murder me, but give me a little bit of a fighting chance. And that's why you wanted me to wear closed-toed shoes.
Yeah, because I didn't want you to trip like flip-flops or something like that.
Yeah.
That never gets...
be a little bit sporting.
A little bit of a fighting chance, right. Yeah. Right. So anyway, we went out on our special date, and we went to a special place. Our date.
So we're calling it the murder date.
Yeah. I don't like that name. Let's not call it that anymore. Anyway, so we went out on a date, and we took some video clips. And we're going to show that to you now. So here is The Adventures of Lon and Lisa.
Hashtag murder date.
Hashtag murder date. Okay, are you nervous?
I am. Because we're going on a hashtag murder day.
What do you think we're going to be doing?
Well, you told me to wear closed-toed shoes. So I've had several discussions with people, and everyone agrees that you want to murder me because I'm such a pain. But you want to give me a little bit of a fighting chance. So you're going to give me a little bit of a head start, and then you're going to come and murder me. Is that true? And you also bought me donuts to fatten me up and slow me down.
Babe, I did not buy you donuts to fatten you up and slow you down.
Then why did you buy me donuts?
Because you asked for them.
Oh my gosh. Where are you taking me? This is not acceptable. This is definitely a murdering spot. You going to the Quarter Horse Association? It's right there.
Yeah, we're going to go to the Quarter Horse Association.
Oh, you can bury a body in there for sure. None of this is okay. None of this is okay. Oh my. Oh no. None of this is okay. None of this is okay. Oh, don't take me down there.
Okay, here we go.
I'm 110% sure that you are murdering me. Oh my goodness,
We're just slightly early. That's not too bad. I told you. She would love it. She gonna love it. Here's our instructor, Mr. T-Rex. Go ahead, go ahead. Oh, underhanded. That was awesome.
Goodness.
So who's the Timber Lord?
The Lumber Lord. Let's find out.
Lumber Lord.
Who could it be? There it is. There's our Lumber Lord tonight.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So proud of that.
Bullseye. And got a 3. We round up.
And that is why I am.
Lumber Lord. Let there be no doubt. Look at that bullseye.
Okay. So what'd you think?
Well, I'm glad you're not murdering me. I'm disappointed that we didn't get a free puppy.
No
The
free
guy-
puppies.
I know, the guy had a puppy, and I thought everybody got a puppy.
But we did do the axe throwing.
Ask.
Well, it's better than ass kicking. Oh! Boom. And there you go. That was our date night.
That was our date night.
We had fun, though.
We had fun.
Absolutely.
But we didn't get another puppy. I wanted the free puppy.
No, you just saw somebody out there walking their dog.
Yes.
It was just a private citizen.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
you can't have their dog. You can't have everybody's dog.
I know. I try to take
You've
it.
got one over here, and he's like hard enough to keep up with. Hey, Rufus. Roo.
Yeah, just ignore him.
Whatever. Anyhow. So we went to this place called Columbus Ask. Anyway, it was really, really fun. And if you do, make sure you ask for Rex. He was an awesome instructor, very, very cool guy. There's lots of games and things, and of course we're very competitive.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, although I did take all but one of the trophies, right?
I'm left-handed.
That has nothing. You were throwing with two hands. That has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it.
I think it does somehow.
No.
I think it does.
No.
I think it does.
No.
I think
Anyway.
somehow it does.
We are always looking for really cool places to go, and in the Columbus area. Well, anywhere, but mainly in the Columbus area. So if you've got something that's kind of off the wall and you want to tell us about it, let us know in the comment section. We'd love to check it out.
Yes.
As always, we're looking for really fun and
Especially
interesting.
if there's food involved.
If there's food involved, yes. That's always a good plus,
Or
too.
if I can win.
No. There's a story that we will tell at some point about
I won.
About
Who won the Jenga? I
Who
won.
won the Jenga contest?
This guy.
No. Yeah. We have it on video, too. So we'll definitely have to show that. Anyhow.
Who's married to you? This guy. I won.
You won. Last week, I went with the boys. I took Ryan and Caleb, our two sons, to Colorado, to Mesa Verde National Park.
Yes.
On a boys' trip.
Yes.
Just a boys' trip.
Yes.
And why? Because you hate boys.
Yes, boys are disgusting.
This was a camping trip, okay? Well, to be honest, Caleb turned 16 in April, and before he turned 16, I was asking. I wanted to do something special for him for his birthday, something different, and so I asked him, and if he had his way about it, he would probably just be in front of his TV screen playing video games all day.
Yes.
So no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go somewhere else. We're going to go on a trip somewhere. Where would you like to go? He's very interested in like ancient ruins, that kind of thing. And so out at Mesa Verde National Park, there's this canyon. And there's a bunch of cliff dwellings from the Native Americans that lived back in 600 AD, I believe, as far back as 600 AD. And so there's a lot of little ancient cliff dwellings and things that archaeologists have uncovered. And so I presented that to him, and he thought that was a good idea. So that's where we went.
And there are Pokemon out there that you can catch.
And apparently there are Pokemon out there as well. I did not know that until we got there.
Yes.
But we got to the highest point in Mesa Verde Park, which is like 8,500 feet above sea level.
Right.
And there are Pokemon there.
That you can catch.
And
you can beat a gym. And you can take your phone up there and
well,
play video games.
the good news is that we were there in the park, and the park didn't have very, very good. In fact, where we were staying, they didn't have really any cell services at all. And the camp itself had Wi-Fi, but it was so spotty and so slow that it really was impractical to
Yeah.
even try to connect to.
That's good.
So we had that. The boys couldn't, interactive gaming was impossible. But going through the park, there was one area right there on the edge of the cliff where I think I did a live stream there.
And the boys found it.
And the boys found it.
What a surprise.
It's like, hey, let's just stay here in the car, right on the edge of the... I got good Wi-Fi coverage. Yeah.
How did they find it, though? That's the question.
Well, because it's an overlook. So we stopped as we're driving through, and we just stopped at the overlook and, and just kind of gandered around, looked around and stuff. And I think Ryan probably was the first one to look down and go, hey, I've got 4G. Woohoo! And then, of course, Caleb jumped on, and everybody's on 4G. We didn't stay too long there, but...
4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, just 4 or 5 hours. No, just kidding. But I wanted to share some pictures with you guys that I took and some small little video clips. I'm actually putting together a little montage of clips and things. But I figured I would share a few with you guys, about our trip.
Unless anyone wants to protest.
Well, if you protest, just put in the comment section. We're going to do it anyway. So, as I was planning the trip, I've kind of gotten into photography, and I wanted to try my hand at taking some pictures of the Milky Way. And in order to do that and have really pretty decent pictures, you have to be in an area that's kind of far away from the city, because you don't want the light pollution from the city. I know it's unlike air pollution, it's light pollution. So you have to get into an area of the country that's really, really dark. And believe me, it is insanely dark out there. But I could not believe how bright the stars were out there.
So that wasn't light pollution?
No, that wasn't light pollution. That was meant to be.
You're like, oh, the stars are polluting.
But it was amazing, and we planned it out also so that the moon was in its new phase, and so there was no moon in the sky to drown out the light,
pollute the stars.
To pollute the stars, yes, to pollute the stars. So I'm just going to show you guys a few pictures that I took. Let's see. So here's one that I took. This picture was actually on Thursday night. Now we left on Tuesday morning, and we were there until Saturday morning. But we camped Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. So this is Thursday night, and we were at a Chimney Rock National Park, or Chimney Rock National Monument, I should say, right there on the outskirts of that park. And as you can see, there's a lake there, and so what I was trying to capture here is the Milky Way above the lake and some reflection on the water, and you can kind of see some stars reflecting on the lake. But the bad thing about it was there's a little bait and tackle shop right there on the edge of the lake, off to the right of the shot. And there's like just a ton of light, so I couldn't really get the angle that I wanted and everything. But I thought this was an interesting picture anyway. And that light off in the distance behind the hill there is actually a little town of Pagosa, I think is the name of it. And then, of course, if you see the little line of the straight light that's kind of in the middle of the shot, that's actually a car driving by. Because the exposure is like about 30 seconds. So you get streaming lights when a car drives by. So that's actually a car. Anyway. This next shot I love. This was actually taken on the first night that we were there, the Tuesday night. And I just happened, and it just stands out to me because as I clicked the shutter open, about 5 seconds into the shot, I saw just a bright meteor come down right in the middle of the frame of the camera, which you can kind of see right there in the center of the of the shot. So I actually caught a falling star. Pretty cool. And I have to say that it's really, really spooky out there too, because you're in the middle of nowhere and it's super dark. And in fact, the Thursday night that we were by the lake, I had set up the camera and I had my little headlamp on, and of course you got to turn that off, otherwise you mess your shot up. So I turned the light off and I took the shot. And just a couple of seconds into the shot, I heard this sound. It sounded like, like if you were to take a bed sheet and wave it like that. That's the kind of sound it was. And I was like, oh no, what the world was that? I had no idea because I couldn't see anything. And so when I turned my light back on, I was staring face to face with a crane that had come and landed on the edge of the water. And it freaked me out. I was so scared, and of course it flew off and everything. But yeah, it was really, really scary. So I also had the opportunity to do a couple of time lapse. Mine was blanking for just a second.
Your mind time lapsed.
My mind time lapsed. So I did a couple of time lapses. So I'm going to share those with you. This is time lapse number 1. And it's just a like 4 or 5 second shot, but I thought it was really cool. And of course, these were a group of pictures that I took over the course of about 2 hours in the middle of the night. It was like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., something like that. So that was the first one. And then here's another one. This one is at about the 4 o'clock hour, where the sunrise was just starting to come up over the horizon. So the sky is obviously turning a little blue, and you can see some of the clouds going by, and actually some of those little straight specks that are flying across the screen. That's actually airplanes, jets that are going through there. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So here's another shot that I took. This was actually driving through Colorado on our way to Mesa Verde. I can't remember exactly where this was, but this was just a place that we stopped at an overlook, and I took a shot there. It's pretty cool. This is basically the same place. And then, oh, okay. So this picture, I have to give it a little context, because before we left, I had planned, we had planned the trip like months in advance, right? So about a week before we decided we were going to go, I got a report. There was a buddy of mine at work that said, "Hey, are those forest fires gonna mess up your trip?" And I was like, "What forest fires?" Forest fires. So I pulled it up on the internet, and sure enough, there's a bunch of forest fires just northeast of where we were going to be. And so I was afraid that they were going to shut down the park or whatever. Right. And in fact, when we drove into the park ranger told us, she said there's an emergency plan in place. So if we actually sound an alarm, you have about an hour to get out of the park. But there's no fires or anything as of yet. We just want you to know that we're watching for those sort of things and to be aware. So yeah, just to go back to that one. So that is actually, we were on 160 going across the bottom of the state, and those were the fires right there. Okay, so this is just a shot of us going on one of the tours of the cliff dwellings. This is called Cliff Palace. And I mean, if you look at it from a distance, it looks like a little town, a little city that's just, built right there in the cove of a cliff. It's just pretty amazing. And this, I think that, I don't remember the age of this, but I know some of these cliff dwellings went back as far as 600 AD, which is pretty cool. Here's another picture of that same cliff palace. And then, of course, here's Ryan.
Looking happy.
Looking happy.
He loves to get his picture taken.
I know, he loves it. In fact, I couldn't get all three of us together in a shot, no matter how hard I tried. I was like, "Hey, let's take a picture together." And they're like, "Let's not take a picture together." Like, okay, all right, yeah. So anyway, but we had a great time. We had a fun time. You know, some guy bonding moments.
I bet it smelled wonderful.
It smelled awesome. And why don't you like boys?
Because boys are disgusting. So Ryan moved out, and there's a room up there that is Caleb's, and
so we've been upstairs cleaning those rooms
yes,
because Ryan moved out, and so we're cleaning up both of the rooms and the bathroom that's upstairs.
Yes, and so we went up there and we looked around and we realized that we're probably going to have a hazmat team come in, and I mean the house may not be salvageable. It's that bad.
It's pretty bad.
Boys are disgusting. And Ryan actually said, well, I cleaned it. I cleaned the bathroom. And so I don't know what
he defines as clean.
Right. So he might have moved something. He's like, well, I cleaned it. So, yeah.
Interesting.
But it's pretty terrifying up there.
Well,
yeah.
Well, we'll have to get on it and I don't know, do some cleaning
or some demo.
Or some demo work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that does it for this portion of the show. We're going to get into our main discussion here in just a moment. But before we do, I posted online a little earlier an icebreaker. And I think we're probably going to try to implement this in future shows. Just a quick question to get you guys to interact with us. And it's an icebreaker. So it breaks the ice.
Breaks some ice.
It breaks some ice. So we posed a question out there, and I'll pull it up here. So here's tonight's icebreaker. If you could have an endless supply of just one thing...
Mine would not be boys.
...for the rest of your life, what would it be? If you could have an endless supply of anything, just one thing, for the rest of your life, what would it be? And don't say money, because money's... That's too easy.
Money is disgusting. Mine would never be money.
It's too easy. It's too easy for just an endless supply of money. That way I could do whatever I want to.
So mine would be a debit card.
Oh!
Oh!
Well, but you got to be linked to an account that had an endless supply of money.
Yeah.
If you had a debit card.
But you didn't say I couldn't have a debit card.
Well, you can have a debit card.
It just can't be linked
to
an endless supply of money.
What's it going to have in it?
An endless supply of money.
No, for real. Is that your answer?
No. My answer is chocolate-covered bacon.
Chocolate-covered bacon. Okay, so let's break that down. Just
break it down.
Break it down. Chocolate-covered bacon.
Yes. I've got my sweet and salty. That's all I need in life.
Sweet and salty. Okay.
That's all I need.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, with caramel.
With caramel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I need.
Well, is that
That's all I need.
Is that one thing or is that
No, that's
three things?
That's one thing. I could make that one thing. No.
So chocolate and caramel covered bacon?
Mm-hmm. That's one thing.
That's one thing.
If somebody said pie, you'd be like, well, that's crust, and that's filling, and that's topping. That's one thing. It's pie. So I'm saying bacon dipped in chocolate and caramel is one thing. That's all I want in life.
So yours definitely would be food, like a food item.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And a toothbrush.
That's two things.
I know.
You can't have a toothbrush.
But I would have to have a toothbrush.
An endless supply of toothbrushes for the rest of your life?
You know, I would have to have a toothbrush.
You'd have perfect teeth.
Okay, and you?
Well, I would say it probably would be a food item as well. And it probably would be baked mac and cheese. Because that would just be...
Yeah, that's all you need, isn't it? That's all you need.
In you know, like, physical thing, that's what I think I would choose. We have a few people. A few comments. So let's see what some of our viewers are saying.
Mom said that. Oh, wow, Jesus.
So good answer. Kimberly White says Jesus. Absolutely. That goes without saying. Absolutely. Jesus. Yeah. An endless supply of Jesus. And the reality is you have that already, right? You already have that. You've got that. An endless supply of Jesus. As long as you stay close to him, he'll stay close to you. My mom is watching. Hi, Mom.
And she said a debit card.
A debit card.
Yeah.
An endless supply of debit cards.
Steve also said knowledge of the Bible. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good.
We're talking physical things. I guess we were thinking more.
We were thinking more physical type things, you know, just to get the ground broken here. Davina says Diet Coke. She would love an endless supply of Diet Coke.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. If we ever have a party, make sure we bring Diet Coke for Davina.
Yeah.
Lucas says
pizza and his sweetie.
Oh.
Yeah, there were lots of smiles at church today.
But pizza has my vote too. I like pizza. It's like, I don't know. It's not baked mac and cheese for me.
Chocolate.
But it's pretty good.
Of chocolate. She didn't choose Lucas though.
Oh. Oh, don't read into that though. Don't read into that. Okay.
She just wants chocolate.
She says an unlimited supply of chocolate, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how many women that would be? Well, that wasn't. Well, it was kind of one of your choice things, right?
Yeah.
Chocolate and bacon.
Yeah. But I have to have the salty to go with the sweet. Yeah. Yeah.
I got to do this, babe. I got to have a Halls.
Okay, go
this
ahead.
This is killing me. Oh, no, I'm not having that Halls.
Uh-oh. Was it licked by a dog?
It might have been licked by a dog. I'm not having that one.
Want to have a piece of gum?
No, I'll do without.
Okay.
I'll just sip on water. Okay.
Hi, Mom.
Mom says hi.
And Miss Davina said yay. Oh, for the Diet Coke party?
For the Diet Coke, yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, guys.
Well, cool.
Yes.
Well, there was a purpose in actually posing the question. And that is this.
Yes. Pizza is its own food group. It is. Because you have the crust and the cheese and the...
Well, yeah, you have your fruit. Tomato sauce is
tomato is the fruit of the devil. Yes.
So you have your fruit, you have your dairy, you've got your grain with the thing, and then you've got your meat with the pepperoni or whatever. So you got all four fruit groups right there.
On top. Put veggies on top.
So we did choose to do an icebreaker. Mm-hmm. We're going to continue doing icebreakers each week, but there is a purpose for the icebreaker. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And that is this. Lisa and I were talking this week about conversation and communication in marriage. And we were talking about the differences, the different types of communication, and specifically we're talking about small talk versus, more deep, meaningful conversation. And there's a requirement for both of those, really, when it comes down to it. You need both. It can't be all small talk, because if it's all small talk, you never really get connected at that deeper emotional and mental level. And it can't be all deep philosophical conversation either, because there needs to be some fun in the marriage.
Right.
And so I did some scouring on the internet, on the interwebs, as you like to call it, and I just was looking for, like, what do happy couples talk about? What happy couples? What do they talk about? What are the common things that the happiest couples talk about? And so I found a list, so I'm just going to share them with you. One of the things that happy couples talk about is family. That's one of the things. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you've got your immediate family, your mom, your dad, your siblings, if you got siblings. You also have your extended family, your cousins, your whatever. There's all kinds of family stories that kind of go around, and some good, some bad. But you take
always
the
interesting.
It's always interesting. You take the good with the bad,
right?
And you make it good. And that's one of the things that happy couples talk about, because it makes you feel more connected. It makes you feel like at a deeper level,
right? Kind
of where you came from. Right?
Right.
So that's one of the things that happy couples talk about. Another one is what it was like being a kid. We talk about that quite often. And let me backtrack just a little bit, because we played a game just a week or two ago, and it was. What was it? It was, you were just asking questions. They were kind of like icebreaker questions. And even though they were icebreaker kind of questions, it kind of gives you some insight into the person.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one of the things that, one of the reasons why I put the icebreaker out there. Anyway, so what are some other things that happy couples are talking about? Embarrassing memories. We just shared a couple of embarrassing memories.
Yes.
Just recently. Should we share them?
No. I don't want to go to jail.
You won't go to jail.
Wasn't me. People said it was me. It wasn't me. People said it was probably me. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
You did not call in a bomb threat.
Oh. I didn't.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Anyway.
I shouldn't have said that. I didn't.
No. Anywho.
Thank you, dear.
I'm sorry. I'm in trouble now.
Yes.
Okay. But we take that in stride. And we just breathe. And it's okay.
I'm going to send you to the sub-basement.
Well, it's really important that when you talk about those embarrassing moments and things like that,
that you don't do it on live television.
That you don't do it on live television.
Yeah.
Yes, and
it's a good thing this isn't going out live.
Yes,
because that would be horrible.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay.
But it's you take it with a grain of salt. It's it's part of what makes you you.
Yeah.
And so keep the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
And you're all good. Okay, so embarrassing memories. It'll be okay. Visions of the future. Happy couples talk about what they envision in the future.
I envision you sleeping in the car tonight.
Boy, I'm in it big now. Rufus, I'm coming to visit in just a little bit. All right.
What are your visions of the future? As soon as this show ends, he's just gonna run.
I'm going to run for my life. Yeah, so visions of the future. You want to talk about, where you see yourself in, 5 minutes, or 5 years, or 10 years.
You're hoping to make it that long. It's like, I hope to regain consciousness before that.
I might not. I might not get out of this alive. Believe it or not, politics.
Yeah.
Politics. Now, I don't know if there's ever been a survey, maybe I should look this up, a survey about married couples where one person is a member of one particular political party and the other one is...
I'm sure there has.
And I'm sure there's lots of things like that. But, politics is one of the things that happy couples talk about.
Yeah.
What's going on in the world today? That's another important thing that people talk about. And then finally, movies, TV, sports, small talk type things like that. What's going on in the world again. And so those are some of the things that happy couples talk about. So in my research, I stumbled across this article on Focus of the Family, and essentially they talk about there's 4 different types of communication. Do we have anything?
Huh? What?
No, I didn't know if you. No,
What?
Never mind. I'm getting off on a.
Are you scared?
On a tangent. I'm scared now. You got it'll be okay. Just breathe. Okay. So Focus of the Family, you're right. And there's 4 different types of communication. They break it down into 4 different types within the marriage. And really, it takes all 4 to make the marriage great. And so the first one is informal conversations, i.e. or aka small talk. Small talk is great. Because there's levity, it's not too serious.
Right.
There's, people call it talk about the weather. Small talk. You make jokes. You just kind of cut up. It's all surface level type stuff. So that's the first kind of communication. The second kind of communication is administrative or meeting type of discussions.
Right.
Like you get together and you talk about, the plans, like, okay, you're going to take the kids to this and then I'm going to pick them up and then we're going to go here and I got to get the car service, so I'm going to do this. And then, it's just administrative type of conversations.
This is our Monday morning talk.
Yeah,
What's
actually,
going on in the week? We have been talking on Monday mornings.
So
yeah,
right. For quite some time now, we've been carpooling Mondays and Tuesdays usually, and so Monday morning, as we're driving to work, we're talking about the week and what's going on this week and what the plans are, that sort of thing. That's our kind of our time to do that. So yeah. The next kind is the challenging kind of communication. And so those are types of conversations and communication that happen when, things that you didn't expect kind of come up.
Like the air conditioner.
The air conditioner broke. The car suddenly stopped running. The battery died.
You get an A1 warning.
You get an A1 warning from the Honda.
What's that?
What's that? I don't even know.
We'll find out.
Excuse me. It can also be even things more serious. Like
an A2 warning.
An A2 warning. I don't even know what that is. An A2 warning. No, like things like, you got some bad news from the doctor. Maybe even things like, hey, the other day you said this one thing, and you weren't supposed to say it, and you weren't supposed to say it on TV on live, Facebook Live, and you said it, and it really, it hurt my trust in you.
Yeah.
And so it can be those kind of conversations. I'm imagining that we probably will be having one of those conversations a little bit later, probably immediately after the show.
Maybe we'll film it.
I don't know that that's something that we want to film.
You don't want to film yourself crying?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But those are some of the other kinds of communication that is necessary, really, in order to be successful in marriage. And the ability to do that successfully is highly important. I mean, each one of these little segments has its own little ecosystem of how to do it and how to do it well, and making sure that when you talk about, especially the challenging part, like when you talk about that sort of thing, it's very, very easy to say something that's going to hurt the other person's feelings or whatever, and there has to be a foundation of trust, a foundation of my intention is not to harm or to hurt, but to communicate effectively
and to ask for forgiveness.
And to ask for forgiveness.
to beg for forgiveness.
Yes. So that's the third. And then finally, life-giving conversations. So this is one of those things that, your spouse would like to have a conversation with you. Maybe it's on the tail end of a challenging conversation, and maybe the conversation changes from a challenging conversation to a life-giving conversation.
Or not. Or is that life-ending conversation? Could be.
So life-giving conversations, those are those heart-to-heart talks where, you share those most intimate things, and you share encouraging things like that.
The affirmations.
Yeah, absolutely. The affirmations, things like that to share. What was it that we were reading about the 10 minutes per day? There was a study done that says that the most successful marriages or the happiest couples spend on average at least about 10 minutes per day.
So that was the affirmations, the
right.
life-giving conversations.
In meaningful conversation, right. And you have to have those meaningful conversations.
Right.
Because if you don't, then the connection is as weak as scratch the surface, the small talk.
Right.
And you want relationships that are going to outlast the challenging conversations.
You're trying hard, aren't you?
How am I doing? Am I doing okay?
You're hanging in there.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway.
So one of the ways that we've done that is we've done devotions, and just, we tried to build that foundation, and that's one of the things that's helped us. We read the Bible together, do devotions, things like that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we'll read a scripture apart and talk about that together and things like that. Or something that we've read, either in the news or online that's touched us, and we'll come together and talk about that.
Mm-hmm. And I'll reiterate too that it's really important that when you have those deep, meaningful conversations, that you allow the other person, the person who's doing the talking, allow them the space to actually talk and get their, whatever they're trying to say out. Mm-hmm. Because if you cut them off or whatever, or even if maybe you see eye to eye and you just what they're going to say, it's okay. Let them say it, because it's not until they actually complete their sentence and they voice it that they feel like it's been said. I've said what I need to say, and you've heard me, and that completes the cycle there.
Right.
So really, really important to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are some of the things that we think are really, really important as far as communication goes in the marriage, for successful marriages. Let us know what you think. Maybe you've got some ideas. Put them in the comments section. We'd love to hear them. Do we have any other comments?
And let me know if you think I should forgive him.
Yes, she should.
Yes, the love dare. We have it, and I have done some.
I've done some as well. The love dare.
Yes, and I think it's fantastic.
It is fantastic. Okay. I don't know what that means. You may have some visions. It's important to have vision. Okay. We still talk. Yeah.
So even if your childhood was awful, that is maybe. Yeah, I mean, maybe there are some of the awful things that you need to talk about. So, I mean, it's up to you how much you want to share.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. It's up to you how much you want to share. I would just say, like even when you share something that's really awful, like, I personally have made huge mistakes in my life that you know about.
Right.
And those are difficult conversations because there's shame.
Yeah.
You're not sure if the other person is going to feel hurt or feel some sort of, I don't know, jealousy or whatever. It depends on the situation.
But if it's something that happened to you, if it's something that happened and you don't want to talk about it, it's not a joyful memory. You don't want to keep reliving it.
Yeah.
But you still need to.
It can be a way of healing to talk about it, especially if you're talking about it with the right person who is a good listener.
Right.
Right. And who understands kind of, maybe they haven't gone through the same thing.
Right.
But they're there to listen. I know you've shared things that, and I've shared things with you. And not that you're searching for answers. You're not searching for answers necessarily. But it can be a good thing to just share some of those things.
Right.
And it gives the other person some insight into why they might be.
Clear it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened? Okay.
Yeah.
So that is our show for tonight. Let us know what you think in the comment section, and if you've got some other ideas, we'd love to hear them. We'd love to hear from you guys. Really, the interaction with you guys is what makes this thing that we're doing that much better, because we're getting ideas from you guys and having some interesting conversations. Hopefully, pretty soon, I'll have the ability to actually have some callers call in.
Yes.
We do have that capability. I just haven't turned on the mechanism just yet, because we still are kind of feeling our way around things.
And we're discussing some special guest stars.
Yes, we are discussing some special guests. We've got a few people that are kind of on the guest list that we haven't nailed down some dates or anything, but yeah.
And some who don't know they're on the special guest list.
Well, we will be asking them.
We'll
be axing them. Do us a favor, if you haven't already, go to our YouTube channel. I hate to steer you away from Facebook if you're watching us from Facebook, but actually on our Facebook page, if you go down to the tab on the the left-hand side, there's a little tab that says YouTube, and if you click on that tab, there'll be like one of our YouTube videos there, and there's a little red button that says subscribe. If you could click that and subscribe to our channel, that would be awesome. That'll send you notifications on when we're gonna put videos out and things like that. And
Otherwise,
it helps us
we
in
have
our
to
ranking.
give Rufus away.
Yeah, no, we don't. We don't have to give Rufus away.
That's the.
I would
the
like to
YouTube
give
rule.
Rufus away.
He's gone now.
Speaking of Rufus, I don't even know where he is.
Gone.
He's probably
He's
getting
in the
into
sub basement.
something that he shouldn't be getting into. Yeah, but do that. Excuse me. I cannot stop coughing. Do that for us. Share the videos with all your friends and family. We'd love to see more people get involved with our show. And is that it? Do I have anything else?
Mm-hmm. You gonna go in the sub basement?
I'm gonna go in the sub basement. No, I'm not gonna go in the sub basement. I'm not gonna go in the sub basement. But what I am gonna do is sing our little show.
Okay.
Sing our little show ender song. What do you call it? The wrap up song.
You're gonna rap?
I'm gonna rap.
Rap it. Do it. Rap it.
May tomorrow be a perfect
Don't
day.
rap it.
Okay, I can't do that.
He can't rap.
I can't rap. I'm no Toby Mac.
You are not.
I'm no Mac Daddy. May tomorrow be a perfect day. May you find love and laughter along the way. May God keep you in His tender care till He brings us together again. Good night, everybody.